May the power protect you.
An iconic phrase from Zordon, who was the leader of the Power Rangers, and that's what we typically know about him. But who is he really? Zordon belongs to a planet called Elter, which we will talk about in another video. He is also defined as a mystical galactic sage and warrior of good who fights against evil. Part of his achievements was to create the Power Rangers, and 10,000 years ago a villain named Rita Repulsa tried to conquer many worlds throughout the universe. Zordon, upon learning of this, objected and started a war against Rita. This war lasted about 2,000 years across different planets where many warriors perished, some at the hands of Rita's servants, such as Night Nasty, who fought against the mighty Morphin Power Rangers. After so many years of fighting, Rita began to serve Lord Zed, and he sent her to Earth, so she built her palace on the moon to start her war from there. In that same period, Zordon discovered 5 coins of power, but those 5 coins were not the only ones. There was one more, and that was obtained by Rita Repulsa. Each coin had the power of some prehistoric animal and gave power to anyone who used them. The coins Zordon found were Tyrannosaurus, to invoke red power; Mastodon, to invoke black power; saber-toothed tiger, to invoke yellow power; pterodactyl, to invoke pink power; and Triceratops, to invoke blue power. The coin that Rita found is very powerful. It belongs to the dragon and can invoke the green power. After so many years of war, Zordon starts to get closer to victory, and Rita starts to give up, so she tells Zordon that she is going to agree to peace. Because of this, Zordon lets his guard down, and Rita banishes him to a place where Zordon exists outside of ordinary time. An energy tube that he can't get out of and only allows him to talk, but at the same time he can't age either. Still, Zordon is so powerful that he found a way to imprison Rita in a space junk container and destined her to be locked away for eternity. In Earth year 1993, the space junk container Rita was in was accidentally opened by astronauts, and she returned to her base on the moon to continue her war against Zordon. This time Zordon was prepared. He had already built his base on Earth and befriended Alpha, who would help him create the Power Rangers. In addition to this, Zordon had positioned weapons throughout the solar system to continue defending the Earth from any enemy attack, in addition to all the contacts he had throughout space that warned him of any threat. In order to confront Rita, Zordon and Alpha chose 5 teenagers to give them the power of the 5 coins they had found some time ago. These teens were Jason, who was given the Tyrannosaurus coin to invoke the red power; Zack, who received the Mastodon coin to invoke the black power; Trini, who received the saber-toothed tiger coin to invoke the yellow power; Kimberly, who was given the pterodactyl coin to invoke the pink power; and finally Billy, who got the Triceratops coin to invoke the blue power. These 5 teenagers were the first Power Rangers we saw on TV, although in the history of this fantasy universe we already know that Dino Fury's Rangers existed first. In the comics there is also another story about 5 Rangers that Zordon had chosen before these teens, and it all ended very badly. You can look for that video on the channel. After Zordon chose these 5 teens to be the Power Rangers, Rita also used her power coin and chose Tommy Oliver to get the dragon coin with the green-colored powers. The Rangers managed to break Rita's spell that caused Tommy to be evil, and this Green Ranger was part of the team for a while until his powers ran out. After this, Zordon was able to create the power of the White Ranger, a power that comes from all that is good, and chose Tommy to give him this power and named him the new leader of the team. Zordon was the mentor of the Power Rangers in the 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin, also in Zeo and in some episodes of Turbo, since there he went to star with Alpha 5. He then appeared a few times in the In Space series until the end of that season when he was destroyed by Andrus in order to save the universe. Zordon knew that if Andrus destroyed the tube, this was going to create an expansive slingshot that was going to reach everywhere in the universe, and this was going to destroy all the villains, as well as transform some. This was the last time we saw Zordon alive, but his legacy is so great that he has been mentioned by many Power Rangers teams, and in the special episode we start to know more about him again. After many years, the mighty Morphin team is still together, and Billy built a new command center. In addition to this, they also have Alpha 8, which we assume must have been built by Billy or Alpha 7. Billy and Alpha 8 were working hard to try and bring Zordon back, since despite not being physically on Earth, his energy is still wandering around somewhere. Basically, this was the same thing that happened with Rita and Lord Zed when they were purified with Zordon's energy. All that evil energy was left wandering around in existence, and this is what Billy attracted with the experiment. Unfortunately, Billy was unable to bring Zordon back. However, Rita's evil energy managed to enter through the tube and then exited to get inside Alpha 8's body. After the events of the special episode, all the things we saw in Cosmic Fury happened, and one of these things was the appearance of Zordon again. Many people didn't understand this part well, so we are going to try to explain it as best as we can, since there are many new fans who may not know Zordon very well. When Zyto died at the end of Dino Fury, we could see that after 6 months the Morphin Master brought him back, and at that time no one knew what really happened. Zyto really knew what was happening, but he didn't want to tell his friends so as not to worry them, because he knew that his death had been difficult for them. The Morphin Masters had brought him back with magic only to fulfill a purpose, and he was basically like a battery charged with that magic, since every time he used that energy, he had less time left alive. When Zyto used all the energy, his spirit began to return to the grid, but Ian was so desperate that his spirit attached itself to Zyto's spirit, and he also came to the grid. Ian woke up in a place with lots of light, and in front of him was Zyto's body, but it had blue eyes. After Ian hugged him, this being told him that he did not know him, and Ian was very confused as it was the same body of Zyto. This being was Zordon, who was somewhere unknown since Andrus destroyed the tube, and now he had Zyto's appearance, but somehow the grid connected him to Ian. Zordon told Ian that he was seeing his friend because that was what his mind wanted to see, but he was not Zyto, and Ian asked him if he can tell him if Zyto's energy is somewhere in the grid. Zordon manages to find Zyto's energy in the grid, but tells Ian that Zyto's time on Earth is up and that cannot change. The strangest thing about this encounter is that Zordon apparently didn't have much memory of the Rangers and Lord Zed, even though he said those names were familiar to him. Zordon never said his name, but we knew it was him because he told Ian that there was something he used to say in times like these.
May the power protect you.